Thank you. Excellency, Minister, Honorable Jury Member, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of all human rights defenders in Mauritania, from all ethnic groups, in the name of all slaves and former slaves, especially in the name of the Black Mauritanians, I thank you, and thank you for your country. Thanks to the jury of the Tulip Award and the team of heroes for the excellent work they did. As a Mauritanian, a Haratian, I'm here to represent the initiative for the Resurgence of the Abolitionist Movement, IRA-Mauritania, which fights against slavery in Mauritania, the world capitals of slavery. I would have preferred to have my friends and President, Bert, with me here today, enjoying this great moment, but the slave owners, the enemy of the justice and equality in Mauritania, represented by the regime of General Abdelaziz, decided to send my friend for 2 years in prison for nothing but asking to end slavery, to respect the rights and the dignity of the Haratian community in Mauritania. I appreciate your support by choosing IRA-Mauritania for this human rights tool, because this movement introduced new innovations in the fight against slavery in Mauritania. I remember my first meeting with Bert back in 2009 in Cologne, where we discussed the best and effective ways to succeed to reach what other anti-slavery movements failed to achieve. We did know that slavery, even after more than 4 or 5 times prohibition in Mauritania, is not easy to eradicate. We both agreed to focus on 4 main fields: to make IRA-Mauritania a mass movement with the maximum involvement of young activists from all ethnic groups. IRA-Mauritania must defend all and represent all Mauritanians, blacks and whites. That was our first point. The second point was that IRA to base our combat on what the old anti-slavery leaders, like the movement of Al-Hor, led by the President Masoud Ould-Merzough, and the NGO SOS Club, led by President Boubacar Masoud. We decided to build up with to continue with different methods and approach to reach our goal. The third point was to bring slavery issues from Mauritania effectively into the focus of the international communities, of the human rights NGOs, of the press and media. The free world around Mauritania must get more involved to help the regime to overcome this ugly phenomenon, this crime against slavery. The fourth point was to use peaceful ways to organize protest actions, to run awareness campaigns, what we call Caravan of Liberty, traveling across the country to inform people, slaves and slaves owners about the human rights issues in Mauritania. Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, the human rights tool represents for us a great recognition and also a confirmation that our fight is the right choice for human rights defenders. Peaceful, but with determination and without compromise. This award is a call for all Mauritanians to be unified, to join IRA-Mauritania, and to join the leaders of IRA to seek international pressure in order to bring the regime to release immediately the UN Human Rights Prize laureate Bert, IRA President, and his Vice President Brahim Bilal Ramdan. It's also a call to apply effectively the anti-slavery legislation and to end the slavery and racism against the black ethnic groups in Mauritania. It's also a call to register IRA-Mauritania and all anti-slavery NGOs in order to allow them to do the necessary work where the authority failed to do due to lifestyle based on caste system and segregation in Mauritania. Also, it was a call to prohibit forever the black code books published between the 12th and the 13th centuries to justify the slavery by a wrong interpretation of Islam. And the books, which I'm going to mention, are Sheikh Khalil, which I have here a version of it. It's a racist book. There is another book which called Ibn Ashur. It's still valid in Mauritania. There is a book of the Sufi, which is also a racist, and Al-Bukhari. All these books are not Islamic. They are racist, and they should be abandoned in Mauritania, and they should be forbidden in Mauritania. As you may know, the tradition we have in Mauritania, the traditional slavery in Mauritania. The traditional slavery in Mauritania is affecting around 20% of the populations. The victims are mainly boys and girls up to the age of 18, 20 years. Those are the weak persons who cannot escape easily this ugly practice. But we have also the form of what we call modern slavery, which is existing also in Mauritania. As a living example, we decided to present to you a victim that can testimony about her recent struggle with that problem, with the modern slavery. She is an IRA member since many years. Her sister is a leader of our movement, but she never thought she can be failed in the slavery trap until one day she landed in Saudi Arabia. There, her passport was taken away, and she was told, "You are our new slave. We spent money in Mauritania to have you with our family here in Saudi Arabia for housekeeping and also for our sexual abuse." That was her story, which she faced in Saudi Arabia. I represent to you today, here with me, my sister Rame Salem. She will tell you her story after the ceremony, and she will be, I will invite her now to speak, to give a small speech about his message from Mauritania. And thank you.
السلام عليكم. سيداتي وسادتي، أشكركم على منحنا هذه الجائزة الثمينة. وأبلغكم سلام الرئيسين الإيران الداعي إبراهيم بلال القاضي عن حاليا في السجن العبودية في موريتانيا، لأنهم طالبوا بالحرية، لأنهم قالوا لا للعبودية. وبلغكم سلام المناضلين والمناضلات في حركة إيران. وبلغكم سلام العبيد والمحررين من قيد العبودية في موريتانيا. هذه الجائزة تبرهن على اهتمامكم التام بحقوق الإنسان بصفة عامة.
This prize shows your concern, your full concern for human rights in general.
وخاصة السود في موريتانيا.
And specifically for the black people in Mauritania.
شكرا لكم.
And I thank you.
وشكرا لدولتكم والسلام.
Thank you for your stay in the country. Peace.
And before we go to the closure, Abidine Ould-Merzough, I would like to ask you two short questions, and maybe you can use this microphone. Because, first of all, you already mentioned the president, Biram Dai Abait, and the vice president, Brahim Bilal Kandam. Do you know how they are in prison now? How is it with them?
They are doing very well. They are really doing very well. And especially when they received the call from us that they received the prize. That was on the 27th of November, the Independent Day, where the President of Mauritania was celebrating his independence. they got the information that they received the award, and they enjoying, and they are very, very, very happy, and they thank you for your support and for everybody who is still thinking about it.
Okay, so this prize was really also a mental support for them now in prison.
Exactly, it's a great news which we received on the 27th of November.
Okay. What, of course, is this beautiful piece of art. The artists are also here with us, but there's also 100,000 euros involved in the prize. And in your speech, you already mentioned different goals of IRA-Mauritania, among others, making the movement a very big mass movement, but also you mentioned to bring it into the focus of the international community. Are you going to use the prize money for this purpose, or do you have other ideas?
Yes, because our success was going into the country, across the country, informing people, making a campaign in the countries, and we always facing some financial issues because we collect privately some money and to make the campaigns. Now, with this prize, with this fund, we are getting the possibility to do more and to do better and to do it every time, and this prize will support us and will help us. It is the best way to happen for us that we are now able to do what we want to do and to do it better and effectively, and that's very, very important for us.
Okay, well, I wish you a good, great work, a lot of luck, and unfortunately we hope to hear what's happened with your organization next year in 2016. Give them a big hand, IRA-Mauritania.